What's going on, guys? It's Hugo Saltwater Elite Fishing, and I don't know if you can tell, but today it's not really kayak weather day. Wind speeds at 20 miles an hour. Sky's clear, but the wind's pretty heavy. I'm gonna be using the trolling motor today with the battery for the reason that the wind is really strong today. So I'm gonna try to tough it out. I'm gonna go out that way about maybe a half a mile, and then I'm gonna hope that the battery lasts. I haven't charged it since the last time that I've been using it with the little lights, so I'm gonna hope that it does hold up today with the trolling motor. And I don't have a PFD, so I'm hoping the swells don't get too bad, because if I fall off this kayak, you know, I might drown. But right now what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna go ahead and try to see if I can catch some mullet or pinfish, because I went to the bait shop and all they had was sea lice. You can't see them here. Let me see. That's all I got, sea lice, and I've never used sea lice before, so it'll be my first time using it. The lady did tell me that with the sea lice you need to be careful, because they will sting you and it hurts really bad. So we'll see how that goes. But with that being said, let's go ahead and cast a casting net. I'm going to be throwing the net against the wind, so hopefully the wind doesn't prevent me from throwing some good casts and try to catch some pinfish or some mullet, because I think pinfish or mullet is going to be key here in this area. I'm not so sure about sea lice. I've never used it before, but I know shrimp and mullet and pinfish work really well here for reds and trout. So let's see what happens. Alright guys, so obviously catching bait with a casting net is not gonna work today. Too windy. I couldn't even throw my net out there. As soon as I threw the net, the wind will pick it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the net with me on the kayak and see if we can I know there's a spot over there that holds pinfish usually, so I'm gonna go out there and see if I can cast a net out there. The only bad thing is that there are oyster beds there, so hopefully I don't mess up my net. But with that being said, let's get on the road. It is crazy, guys. The swells, they're pretty crazy. It took me a while to get off of the land. I was trying to paddle out, but the kayak wasn't moving at all by paddling, so I don't think if I had the trolling motor today, I don't think I would have came out. But the swells should calm down in this area over here, because there's land here, and so it kind of slows down the swells from coming in so hard. But I mean, hopefully you can hear me through the wind. Yeah, but this is not kayak weather, guys, at all. And this trolling motor is not that strong, so it's not ideal for wind like this. But I mean, we're moving. At least we're moving. speed right now is 20 miles an hour, if not more. It was earlier. And with the trolling motor and paddling, we're moving like at 1 or 2 miles an hour, maybe 1 mile an hour, if that. So it's gonna take a while to get there. All right, guys, so right about here, I had threw my casting net, and it got stuck on an oyster. And when it got stuck on the oyster, I was battling the anchor, the waves, the kayak. I was doing everything I could to be able to grab my net without tearing it. Eventually, I was able to pull it out, and then after that, I was already stressed out. I was tired. I was exhausted. I wasn't talking very much in the video because I was already basically at the point where I had already had it. I was basically giving up already, wanting to go back home. But you know, I pushed through it a little bit, you know, and made my way out of there. And then I continued trying and trying and trying, and well, we'll see what happens. Guys, I ended up going through, look at all that mess on the kayak. I ended up going through some crazy oysters earlier. It took me a long time to get out of it. And now the water's super shallow. And you can probably hear the wind on the camera, but I'm having to walk the kayak because the water got really, really shallow. And I'm gonna see if it gets any deeper, because if not, I'm gonna have to go back to where we started. Right now I'm just looking at the water for stingrays, oysters, because I'm barefooted. The last thing I need is something to stab me on my foot. Woo, the things we do for you guys, man, to get you some footage. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. And whenever you comment, guys, and whenever you like the videos, it helps the channel. Believe it or not. Let me just see if I can get to some deeper water so I can put my trolling motor on. I wanted to go fish over there by those mangroves, but the water's very, very skinny. I don't know if I'm gonna make it that far. And I might have to turn back. I'm not sure, and if I do, it's gonna suck because the trolling motor can't troll through that skinny water. At the paddle, I'm paddling against the wind. This isn't gonna work. I'm not gonna move anywhere. Oh, come on. Let me see. Yeah, that wind is bringing my kayak this way. I don't want to go that way. I'm gonna see if I can use a trolling motor a little bit here. The wind just throws my stuff all over the place. I'm trying to use the trolling motor, but it's too shallow. Like I'm stuck here. All right, let's see if we can paddle. See you guys in a bit. Just wanted to give you an update. Guys, take my advice. Don't ever come out when it's 20+ miles an hour winds. I have the trolling motor on. It's barely making contact, or it's not working as properly as it should because it's very shallow. And I can't lower it any more than it is, and the wind is not helping at all. It's moving my kayak sideways. If I don't hold my paddle, it'll literally fly off the kayak. And we're moving super slow, trying to see if it'll get a little deeper so I can drop the trolling motor a little bit more. And but it has not been fun at all. I am completely wet. The kayak is messy. It's just not fun. I had to walk a little bit. I was stuck in between oysters for a second. It's just not fun at all. This is not what what I envisioned today. I'm having trouble with the kayak because the trolling motor is still very shallow. It's usually a lot deeper over here. It's usually at least 3 feet. And today, for some reason, it's just the wind's going, but the water is very, very low. So I'm gonna see if I can get out there. If not, I'm gonna have to fish here because it's gonna be a long way back, I can tell you that. Yeah, you can hear my trolling motor. It keeps coming out of the water because it's not very low. I'm just trying to see if it'll help me out because the water's very, very rough right now for me to be paddling, and the wind's super strong. I can probably manage if the wind wasn't as strong. I could probably manage the swells with the kayak, but it's really hard to get out there with it like this. But with that being said, guys, I think I'm just gonna anchor out somewhere here because it's getting really bad. The trolling motor is getting beat up really bad, so I'm gonna save the battery for later. All right, I'm gonna see if I can anchor myself away from the wind. Oh man, this is not fun at all. Not fun at all, guys. Well, we're gonna have to just work with what we got. I'm gonna see if I can position the kayak. I got water in the back of my kayak. Let me turn it around. Probably not the best bet, but not the best idea, but maybe the back won't take up so much water. All right, so finally made it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and rig up a pinfish on here and a mullet on the other one. I wanted to do some casting, but look at that, I can't even grab my line. Oh man, that was a challenge. That was a challenge for sure. My kayak took a lot of water in the back, so I'm gonna see if it'll come out of the scupper plugs. All right, guys, I don't know if we're gonna be able to fish. I tried throwing the anchor in. This thing's flying all over the place. The anchor won't hook onto the bottom. The wind keeps blowing me this way. I am extremely far from where I need to be, and I'm gonna see if I can get to land at least over there to that grass line and see if I can get off the kayak and fish from there, because this is ridiculous. And my kayak keeps almost tipping over sideways because of the weight of the trolling motor on the side. So I'm gonna see if I have to sit like on the right side so that the trolling motor weight doesn't tip me over. It's never done that before, but this wind is crazy. I do have it on. It's like it's not deep, so I can't have it way in there, but I'm gonna see if it'll help me get to land at least. Man, this is not fun at all. If you're ever planning a trip kayaking on 20 miles an hour winds, don't do it. I haven't even gone to where I want to fish. I'm trying to anchor down. My anchor keeps moving. This is not anywhere near where I'm supposed to go. I'm supposed to go about a mile that way, but the wind won't let me, and the trolling motor doesn't work. It's too shallow. My paddle is in the water, floating. I threw one rod out just to do something, and I'm trying to kind of stay positioned here. I think I'm gonna have to go that way into the land area. I'm gonna see if somehow I can find a little road that goes into a dirt road or something that goes into the street, so I can run back to my truck and go get it instead of coming this way, because there's no way in hell I'm gonna be able to go through this. There's just no way in hell. So we'll see what happens right now. Hopefully we don't drown. All right guys, so far the anchor hooked up here, but this is not where I want to be. But I'm just gonna chill here for a second, rest a little bit. I think there's like a channel over there. There's a boatway over there, and there's a channel over here that goes back towards a truck, and there's land that covers, it'll kind of give me like a shield between the wind and the water. And if I can just get over there, I can probably use my trolling motor over there, because it's deep over there. It's for the boats, so I can kind of drive towards the truck, might land the kayak somewhere in the land here and just kind of fish off of the land, because I don't think it's gonna work in the water, and I don't want to be fishing there in the channel, because usually boats haul ass through there, and I don't want to get hit by a boat. Let me reel in my rod here, my pinfish. He's already dead. I think a crab had him. And see if I can go that way. It's gonna be tricky, but all right guys, let's see if we can paddle this way. I know the wind's taking us to the left, so that's gonna help, but we're not trying to go towards the bridge over there. We're trying to go to the channel, so let's hope we can make it. And there's a boat right there, so I wonder if he's catching bait, or if maybe he sees fish on his fish finder. But I think I'm gonna fish on the channel for sure. Oh, I'm getting the oysters. Oh, it's not what you want, guys. And I don't have shoes on. Oh, now we're stuck in the oysters. Son of a... Look at that. The oysters are all right there. And we're sitting right on top of them. Oh. Just when you think everything is decent, Mother Nature will kick you in the ass. Alright guys, well, I can't walk because I didn't bring my shoes. Big mistake. So we're gonna have to figure this out here. If I walk, I'm definitely getting cut up, and I can see the land, the oysters go all the way for like another 30 yards. So let me see if I can push myself off. Oh man, that's nasty. I'm gonna ruin this kayak. I don't want to get cut up though. So how do we do this? Should have brought my damn shoes, bro. I can give you a better view. That's what I'm on right now. All of that. I have to get over there, which is probably another 20-30 yards. Kind of stuck here. All right, well, let's see if I can get off, guys. If I had my shoes, I'd get off with no problem, and I just walk it down. I'm trying to see if I can push my kayak. All right, here we go. Oh man, I can feel these fuckers. Walking on oysters barefooted. Even with me on the off the kayak, it's still dragging. Part of it's because I'm kind of using it to weigh myself up a little bit. All right. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, you got to be very, very careful with these oysters. They're very sharp. So far we're doing okay, guys. So I do see my truck from here. I'm gonna go ahead and just load up the kayak and go to the jetties, because it is too it sucks right here. And I think I have my headlamp in the truck anyway, so I'm gonna get some batteries for it, and so you guys can see, because it's gonna get late soon in the next 3 hours. So hopefully we'll land some big fish over there. Okay, so I mean, you know, today was a very, very tough day. These days do happen. You know, whenever you're fishing and you know, you fish consecutively, you know that you're gonna run into those days where you're not gonna catch anything. But the only thing you can do is keep your head up high and you know, fish the next day and see what happens. I wasn't gonna go kayak fishing today in the morning. I know that if I would have gone somewhere else in Portland, I would have caught some fish. But I had the whole idea of coming to Portland was to go to that specific spot that I wanted to go with the kayak. But with the wind being the way it was and the way everything turned out, you know, and as crazy as it was, you know, I tried going out there anyways, knowing that the weather was bad. I knew the wind was already bad. I knew the water was going to be heavy. But I wanted to go out there because I planned all week for that, to go to that one spot. And if you know anything about fishing, and whenever you make plans and then the wind comes in or the weather changes, you know, it ruins everything and it gets you frustrated. But you know, you have to keep trying, and you have to keep, sometimes you got to risk it and go out there and to see if you can land some big fish. I ended up coming to the jetties here in Port Aransas, and there's nothing out here either. There's no bites. I don't see anybody taking any fish home, so I'm just gonna call it. And hopefully in the next video I'll go somewhere else where I'm familiar with, and hopefully the weather is on our side, so that way we don't have a bad day. So with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next one.